far beneath the silver-blue surface of the sea, where sunlight shattered into dancing ribbons and the water hummed with ancient secrets, lived a young mermaid named Eva. She was the youngest daughter of the Sea King. And unlike her sisters who reveled in pearls and coral palaces, Eva was restless. She often drifted away from the grand halls of her father's kingdom to sit upon quiet rocks or weave through forests of swaying kelp, listening to the echoes of the human world above. Her tail shimmered with soft shades of turquoise and moonlight, and her eyes held a curiosity so deep that even the oldest sea turtles noticed it when she passed. Eva had grown up hearing stories about the surface world from her grandmother, a wise old mermaid whose hair was white as sea foam. Humans, she was told, had legs instead of tails, walked upon solid ground, and lived lives that were painfully short, yet filled with passion and choice. Merfolk lived long, serene lives, but their souls dissolved into sea mist when they died, while humans were believed to possess eternal souls that traveled beyond the world. This idea fascinated Eva more than treasure or royal duty ever could. Night after night, she dreamed of standing beneath the open sky, feeling the sun warm her skin and the wind brush her hair. On the day Eva turned 16, she was finally permitted to rise to the surface, as was the custom among her people. Her sisters escorted her upward through spiraling currents until the water thinned and the world brightened. When Eva broke the surface, she gasped in wonder. The sky stretched endlessly above her, painted in gold and pink as the sun began to set. Nearby, a grand ship sailed across the waves, its sails full and proud, music drifting from its deck. Drawn by curiosity, Eva swam closer, hiding among the shadows of the water as she watched humans for the first time. On the deck stood a young prince, laughing as his companions celebrated his birthday. His eyes reflected the firelight, and his smile seemed to hold both kindness and courage. Eva felt something stir within her chest, a feeling sharper and warmer than anything she had known. As the music swelled, dark clouds rolled in without warning. The sea grew angry, waves crashing violently against the ship. Eva watched in horror as lightning split the sky and the mast snapped. The ship was torn apart, and the prince was thrown into the raging water. Without thinking, Eva dove into the storm. She fought against the waves, her tail aching as she searched until she found the prince sinking beneath the surface. Wrapping her arms around him, she carried him through the chaos, guiding him toward the shore. Exhausted, she laid him gently upon the sand and hid behind a rock as dawn broke. A young woman from a nearby temple soon discovered the prince and revived him. Eva watched from afar as the prince opened his eyes and smiled at the girl, believing her to be his savior. Though her heart ached, Eva slipped back into the sea, carrying his image with her like a secret flame. Back in her father's kingdom, Eva became quiet and withdrawn. Her sisters noticed the sadness in her eyes, and eventually, she confided in them about the prince and her longing for the human world. Alarmed, they warned her of the dangers above, but Eva's heart was already lost. Finally, she sought out the sea witch, a feared and powerful being who lived beyond the darkest trenches. The path to the witch's lair was treacherous, winding through shipwrecks and shadows, but Eva pressed on, driven by love and longing. The sea witch listened with a crooked smile as Eva spoke of her wish to become human. She agreed to grant Eva legs in exchange for her beautiful voice, warning her that every step on land would feel like walking on sharp blades. If the prince fell in love with her and married her, Eva would gain a human soul. But if he married another, Eva would dissolve into sea foam at dawn the day after his wedding. Knowing the cost, yet unable to turn back, Eva accepted the bargain. Her voice was taken, and pain seared through her body as her tail split into legs. The next morning, she awoke on the shore, silent and trembling. The prince found Eva lying on the sand and took her into his palace, charmed by her gentle presence and expressive eyes. Though she could not speak, Eva danced for him with a grace that captured his heart. Still, he spoke often of the girl who had saved him, unaware that she stood before him every day. Eva endured the pain of walking and the sorrow of silence, finding brief happiness in simply being near him. Yet as time passed, news spread that the prince was to marry a neighboring princess, the very girl from the temple whom he believed to be his savior. On the night of the wedding, Eva wandered the palace gardens in despair. At dawn, she felt her body growing light, as if the sea were calling her back. Her sisters emerged from the water, having traded their hair to the sea witch for a dagger. If Eva killed the prince and let his blood fall upon her feet, she would become a mermaid again and live. Eva took the dagger with trembling hands and slipped into the prince's chamber as he slept beside his bride. Looking at his peaceful face, she realized she could never harm him. As the sun rose, Eva cast the dagger into the sea and stepped back into the waves. As the first rays of dawn touched her skin, Eva felt herself dissolving, but instead of pain, there was warmth. She rose into the air, becoming one with the wind and light. Spirits of the air surrounded her, telling her that through her selfless love, she had earned a chance at an eternal soul. By doing good deeds for the world, she could one day become fully human in spirit. From that day on, Eva drifted unseen through the world, watching over the sea and the land. Her love transformed into something boundless and free, forever remembered in the whispers of the waves and the dreams of those who gazed out at the horizon.